She's younger, beautiful, confident. There's something in her that glows with life. Untouched by the heaviness of ties you've carried, and yet somehow she's drawn to you. Not in spite of your age, but because of it, you notice her eyes linger longer than they should, chilled the tension, the curiosity, and you can't help but wonder why. Is it your wisdom, the quiet way you carry yourself, maybe that the truth? The one most older men completely overlook, runs deeper, it's not your gray hair, It's not your status, It's something harder to name, something deeper in your presence, in your stillness, something you might not even know you are carrying. And once you understand it, you'll never see yourself the same way again, Because in this video, we're going far beneath the surface, beyond the cliches, beyond myths. We're stepping into the raw, real psychology of what younger women truly see. In older men, not the fantasy, but the feeling of safety, maturity, and masculine calm. The feeling of being understood without having to explain. We'll explore why Ian, who's suffered, who's been through heartbreak, failure, growth, can awaken something in a younger woman that she didn't even know she was longing for. Whether you're a single, divorced, quietly wondering if it's too late or if love still sees you, this is for you. For the man who wants to connect not just with woman's body but with her soul. For decades, the stereotype has been pushed like a broken record that younger women are all secretly or not. So, secretly the hunt for a rich older man, a sugar daddy, but let's be honest. That myth is more about the securities of men than it does about actual desires of women. The truth is most younger women are not attracted to money alone. They've seen what happens in those transactional effing chuns, emptiness, power games, manipulation, mass disaffection. What they are actually drawn to often unconsciously is emotional match. Why not someone who doesn't panic when things get tough? Someone who listens. Compete with them, who doesn't feel threatened by their independence. If you think your wallet is your greatest asset, you're probably ignorant anything. She's actually craving stability without control. And this is where real confidence becomes magnetic, not the loud, showy kind that tries to dominate a room, but the quiet, grounded confidence that doesn't need to prove anything. You walk into a cafe, sit down, and you are not trying to be, you just are. It's that calm energy. It says more than any designer jacket or six-pack ever could. There's a power in it, performing and not trying so hard. Most women aren't looking for a man to impress them. They're looking for Simeon Woe eyes already impressed with who has become. Youthful charm fades. They get sold, but confidence, the kind worn from self-respect and personnel growth, fatly deepens with time. And it's exactly that presence that leaves an imprint on her mind. Think about it. When a woman truly feels safe around Ian, it's rarely because of his looks or status. It's because his energy is calm, non-judgmental. His single quotes is not flinching when she opens up. He's not reacting defensively when she agrees. He doesn't crumble when life throws something messy their way. That kind of presence is rare. And women are wired psychologically lit up on those subtle cues. The way you pause before you speak, the way you look her in the eyes without needing to dominate. The way your silence isn't empty, it's ushering, in a world full of emotionally frantic boys pretending to mend someone who can hold space without controlling the outcome becomes a sanctuary. There's Ariason to quote Nate so deeply, your calm is more attractive than your ABS. It's not just poetic, neuroscientific. Calmness signals safety, safety signals trust, and trust. That's the foundation of attraction that lasts. You can't fake this. You can manufacture it in a gimma, buy it in a luxury car showroom. You warn it by doing the work. By facing your own, sitting with your own discomfort. And learning how to self-regulate. Cues when you can walk through the storm of life with stead. Eyes and a centered heart. She doesn't just notice you. She gravitates to you, and not because of what you can give her, but because of what you are when everything else is stripped away. Younger women, despite stereotypes, often crave something for deeper than just fun, attraction, or excitement. What many truly long for but don't totally ways know how to name is emotional grounding. A kind of presenter that feels safe, solid, and unshakable in a world that moves too fast, filled with constant noise, superficial voladen, and emotional immaturity. Being with Simone Wo doesn't rush. Who doesn't just react but sees and feels that comes. Rare, even magnetic. It's not about money or power to boot something quieter, subtler depth. They can't off men who doesn't need to professor himself every minute of the day. Who can't sit with discomfort, who doesn't escape and not distraction when things get complicated. That's the kind of depth many younger women intuitively gravitate toward. Older men often carry this kind of depth not just because of age but because of pain. Life has weathered them. They've been cracked open by disappointment, heartbreak, failure, even death, and in those cracks, something heavier formed, what knights might call emotional gravity. It's not loud, doesn't announce itself, but Felt in the stillness behind high sighs. In the way speaks only when needed, in the way holds silence without needing to fill it. This gravity comes from having lost and learned and survived without becoming bitter. And it grounds the people around him, especially women who are still exploring storms of identity, ambition, and emotion in themselves. When a man has rarely seen pain, not just felt it, but fist it, he listens differently. He no longer hears just words, he is under the words. Is not quick to interrupt, defend, or dominate a conversation. His presence alone become an essay form of safety. He looks at you like us, not scanning for weakness, but recognizing it because he's been there, and when he touches you, there's nourish. No performance, just intention, just stillness. For a younger woman, woe eyes used to being pursued for her body, mirrored only for her beauty. This kind of deep seeing can be disarming and healing. Younger men, no matter how kind or attractive, often haven't lived an eye or broken enough to develop a skin of intimacy. They're still becoming, still searching for their own worth, often in loud or distracted ways. It's not their fault, it's just enough time. But emotional intimacy, the kind that makes you feel held without being touched, requires a depth of being that only suffering, patience, and reflection can forge. That's why some younger women find themselves drawn not just to older men, but to men who have suffered well. Men who didn't let pain close them, but rather opened them into something fuller, something moral, something quiet, lipperful in a world buzzing with distractions, notifications, deadlines, filtered selfies, awe, and shallow conversations. True masculine presence is becoming on powerful force. And it's not about flexing muscles or having the loudest voice in the room. It's that quiet, grounded confidence of a man who is fully here. A man who's not waiting to peak, not performing, not trying to impress, just present. He listens with his whole body. His eyes don't dart away when she talks about something vulnerable. He doesn't interrupt her with solutions or jokes. He holds space with the calm steadiness that says, "You're safe here." This kind of presence can feel foreign, almost unnerving, because it sounds familiar in all rush-filled, hyper-stimulated age. Many younger women will appear confident on the outside to carry deep emotional scars from bungover look at stirs or only half. Listento, they've grown up in a digital culture where attention is fragmented. Where people swipe through face-like products and call it intimacy. Where men look at them but rarely see them. So when a man walks in with a different asterisk energy, slow, grounded, unhurried, he doesn't just stand out, he me magnetic. Not because he's Rick or calming or quoting Rumi over red wine, but because he offers something deeper than flattery. I mirror a silence, a presence that says I'm with you not for what you give him, Abe. For what you are. This is why older men win emotionally. Mature orphan become a not deeply attractive, not just physical but spiritually. A woman can feel asterisk instantly. It's not chasing her validation. He's not performing confidence. He slived through enough to win it. He can't sit in silence without needing to feel it. If he can hold eye contact without trying to dominate, and perhaps most importantly, he can stay emotionally open even when she's no teasy to understand. That kind of energy isn't sexy in the shallow sense. It's soul-touching. Becos in a world full of noise have becomes a kind of stillness. And in that stillness, something ancient in our softens. We live in a culture either that rewards speed, cleverness, and endless stimulation, but presence it come from speed, it comes from death. It's forged in solitude, lost reflection. A man who has suffered and integrated thought, suffering carries adequate gravity. And that gravity is what subconsciously longs for, not theft, loss off dopamine, but the stability of presence when you can sit across from her completely undistracted, no reaching for your phone, not adjusting mask, but simply being. She will feel it, even if she can't explain why. She will remember you, because in that moment, you gave her something almost no one gives anymore. Your whole self. Older men quietly disclose before even stepping into the game. They sit in caves, glancy to beautiful woman, and then look away. Not because they aren't interested, but because a voice inside whispers, "You're too old." She wouldn't want someone liku. It's not rejection that stings, it's the anticipation of it. This self-imposed exile is subtle but powerful. Shows up in their posture, fire, hesitation, their silence. What they didn't realize is they're not judged by women. They're being judged by their own unhealed narrative. They're haunted by a culture that glorifies, makes them believe that with every gray hair, they're becoming invisible. But invisibility doesn't come from age. It comes from believing you no longer have value. This belief leads many to fall into psychological crap. They start competing with younger men, trying to mirror their energy, their style, their speed. But women don't want an older man to act like a 25-year-old. That's not attraction. It's parody. When a man starts chasing trends, dressing like a boy, or talking with forced bravado, Something feels off. It's like watching Simeon wear a costume they don't belong in, and women, especially emotionally ending ones, can feel fatal ligament instantly. They may not always be able to articulate it. But something in them pulls away because women aren't looking for a full charm in an older man. They are looking for depth, steadiness, substance, and housingly merge when a man embraces his age, not when he hides from it. Then there are those who overcompensate to impress with wealth, expensive iches, over-the-top generosity, or high status talk. Gutton, this isn't power. It's insecurity dirt up in Gucci, and again, women can feel it. The shifts from connection to transaction. Instead of I see you, it becomes let me convince you I'm worthy. Our attention and that energy desperate performative. Slightly anxious is the very thing that kills desire. True masculine presence doesn't need to buy validation, doesn't need to perform. Because the moment a man tries too hard to prove his worth, Yuma consciously admits he doubts it, and that doubt repels what he's trying to attract. The most magnetic older men rarely ones will have stopped apologizing for who they are. They don't hide their ankles, okay, they wear them like a steery. They don't flinch when a younger man walks in. A nod and let them have a high because they know something deeper. That confidence isn't a performance. It's a quiet agreement with yourself. When a man is deeply okay with woe haze, when he doesn't shrink descent over, he doesn't explain her traits, that kind of grounded presence can't be intoxicating to a woman. It's not because he's trying to seduce her but back cause he doesn't need to. He's full-centered and rooted. And in a world of frantic performers, that stillness feels like power. Too many men think connection begins with charm or cleverness, like love is a meth thing you trick someone into, but truth is, women can feel fiance between Ian Woe's performing and a man who's grounded in himself. Emotional clarity means you know who you are and what you feel and are not afraid to reveal fate even if it makes you vulnerable. It means saying something real like I'm actually nervous right now, instead of some rehearsed line, and that small moment of honesty. It can do more than a dozen witty one-liners. Because clarity isn't loud, it's felt. It's in your tone, your eyes, your presence. I'm here fully, not pretending, not playing. And that for a woman seeking something genuine, it's irresistible in a world addicted to wars and speed. Depth is rare and deeply attractive. It's questions that go beneath the surface, like, what's something you don't talk about often but think about all for time, or when did you last feel truly alive? These aren't interrogation tools. They're invitations, gentle ones, to explore who she really is. And when she opens up, don't rush to feel the proof smart now to keep up. Just listen. Listen deeply, make her feel seen. That's the kind of offer restraint most men ever master. Because ego won't let them stay quiet lingino to receive a woman's truth. But when you do, when you give her spark to be her wall self, not just diversion that flirts back. You give her a few men ever offer emotionalist safety. You don't need to be flashy, rich, or relentless interesting. What she wants, what many women silently crave, is a man with a world of his own, a rhythm, a passion, a life that breathes with meaning. Whether it's the way you journal every morning, the stories bend, the music you love, or how you'll light up when talking above the ocean, that's what pulls her in. Not because you are showing off, but say you are showing something real. You're saying, here's who I am. Here's the fire, I live Ebby, you're welcome to join me if you'd like. And that quiet confidence, that sense of purpose without a performance, opens a door for a connection. One that isn't based on impressing her, been inviting her to walk beside you. You can connect through a mask. Q might attract, but it won't last. Real intimacy only begins when the performances drop and both people say here I am flaws and all. And that takes courage. It means rescaging education by being seen. It means nothing in your past, your fears, your uncertainty. It also means embracing her with grace, not judgment. This is where connection lives, in intimacy, human space where neither of you needs to be perfect. Because when she sees that you're not trying to be sums, that you're not trying to fit into her, you think she wants you give her permission to do the same. And in that vulnerability, something deeper, earth and attraction forms, something true, something rare, something worth of everything. Music, you might feel like your best days are behind you, that they are taken more than they've given, and the fire we walked through has left on the scars. But what if those scars aren't signs of loss, but proof of survival? Proof that to have been tempered, refined, and forged into something rare, a man who carries both strength and softness in same breath. There's a quiet power in that deep kind of truth that no flashy youth or empty charm can match it. It's the kind of strength that doesn't shout but whispers steady Andre all. Any woman who truly sees that in you, she's not chasing an illusion or a book hero. She's looking for the man who shows up as himself, flawed, honest, and unbreakable. Because that kind of authenticity is magnetic in a world full of masks. And it's the kind of connection that lasts.